Video game OSTs. And what is the best one? Today we're gonna find out. It's gonna be a lot. I'm gonna go through all of them. It's gonna be very opinionated, so if you disagree with me, that's totally fine. Leave your comments down below, as you will. Without further ado, let's cut the bullshit and get into it right away. Alright, so our first franchise is going to be Sega. There's really only one way to start a Sega segment, and it's Sonic, obviously. So we're gonna go into Sonic, where I'm not gonna pick just one OST. There are too many Sonic games. Way too many. I couldn't hope to pick one. But we can go through a few of them. So first of all, there's the original. The original Sonic and Tails and Sonic and Knuckles. Those are very, very good. I'm gonna play them in the background right now. That's what you're hearing. The original, one of those original 3 games, the soundtrack will be there. And then you get into the 3D games with like Sonic 06 and Sonic Adventure. And then there's, what everybody knows, the, follow my rainbow, yeah, Sonic, solid. We're gonna put Sonic in S tier, because right off the bat, Sonic is an S tier one. It's not the best. I don't think we found the best in Sonic, but it's damn near close. There's not too much more to say about Sonic. Sonic is just incredible. But we are going to stick to Sega, and with Sega, we're gonna go into Castlevania. Castlevania is another amazing one. I do not think this one is a contender for the top, though. I've listened to the entire playlist now, and I'll put that playlist in the description. I just don't think that Castlevania is the best, even though it is fantastic. I would give it an A tier, solid A tier. It is basically, you know, One Punch Man, where there's that one guy who is an A-class hero, but he could move to S, but he sits at number 1 so that nothing else can go past him. He's basically quality check. That's what Castlevania is going to be for us. Quality check. If it can't pass Castlevania, it's not meant to be here, basically. Now, just under Castlevania, but still deserves a mention, is Echo the Dolphin. I don't know if there's a lot of people who have played that game who are still, I mean, not alive, but like, who are going to watch this video, because it's an older one, but fantastic soundtrack. It's what you're hearing right now. If you haven't heard of that game or the soundtrack, just watch like a playthrough. It's really pretty and it's beautiful. But I would put it in A tier just under Castlevania. It's amazing. It deserves praise and recognition at least. This might upset some people, but this is where the Sega segment is going to end. Sega segment is going to end. Because there really isn't, they've produced a lot of really good games. But as far as soundtracks go, most of them are okay, pretty good, but they're not contenders for the best of all time, and we are looking for greatness here. So we're gonna move on to the previously mentioned Nintendo. Now, I think the only way to start Nintendo is with Mario, but if I'm being honest, the Mario soundtrack isn't even that. No, I'm just kidding. It's definitely an S tier. It's iconic. I mean, come on. It's Mario. I don't think I'd put it above Sonic, though. I think it's sitting right below Sonic, and that just may be me. But it's, I like Sonic. It feels more colorful, more jumpy. I definitely get more immersed, I feel like. With Mario, it's just more recognizable, I guess. I don't know. That's just my personal take. But Mario deserves S tier, and I will not have anything less. Mario is S tier. We've solidified that. What about Metroid? Now, Metroid is interesting because it's kind of one of the only horror games, at least one of the first horror-ish games that Nintendo ever put out, and I've never played it, so I don't know how scary it is, but I do know that it is spooky because I saw my brother play it a little bit as a kid. The vibes are there. It's a solid soundtrack. The vibes are immaculate. I don't know if I can put it in S tier, though. It's not iconic or unique enough. It's fantastic. It's wonderful, amazing, but again, just remember, we're looking for the best of the best of the best. So I'm gonna put it in A tier, just below Castlevania. Is that cool with everybody? I am putting it above the Echo the Dolphin. Does that upset the Echo the Dolphin fan base? I apologize. But yeah, no, very solid, but I don't think Metroid deserves the #1 spot. I don't think anybody would say it did. If you disagree, please sound off down there. This is Metroid in the background right now, the OST. And I'm just going with the classic OST from the very first Metroid game, because that is the one that I liked the most. Hope you do too. Nintendo Zelda. Obviously, we gotta talk about Zelda, and this might upset people, but I'm gonna go with the Tears of the Kingdom OST and Breath of the Wild kind of as a combined, because they're similar but not the same. I think those are the best ones. I could be wrong, you know, it's just my opinion. Maybe they're not. Maybe most people disagree. Those early ones are really solid too. I would put them in S tier, but these newer ones, I'm gonna put in S tier anyways as well. So either way, don't be too upset. If it was the old ones, I wouldn't bring the score down much. But I like the new ones just a little bit more. You can hear it in the background. Just makes me feel like I am Zelda. By the way, I know his name is Link. That was a joke about the game journalist reference. You know, it makes you feel like Spider-Man. Makes you feel like Batman. I hope people got that. I think that's gonna be so far that's the #1 contender. It's definitely up there. We're gonna get into some more stuff later that I have planned, but that one's a contender for now. I just got done listening to Pokemon, which is the next franchise, and I listened to a lot. And I can't decide which of the games I like the most. I can't even tell which games these sounds come from because there's so many of them. This in the background now. I wasn't expecting it to be that good. I don't play Pokemon. I have friends that do, and my friend is the one who told me to check Pokemon out, make sure that I add it on the list. I am so glad I did, because I was expecting a B tier, maybe an A tier. This is an S tier. S tier, absolutely fantastic. Did not expect it to be so cool. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I'm gonna look for more Nintendo properties, but this could be the end of the Nintendo segment. We shall check in a second. Kirby and Bomberman deserve honorable mentions, but I don't know how I forgot about the Wii menu music. Obviously, the Wii menu music is going at the top of S tier. It's going above Zelda. It's at the top right now. It's a contender for the best. This one could be the best, who knows? My God, how did I forget? Do you hear that? Iconic. Incredible. And like, it's a masterpiece. Does anybody disagree? And with that, we will end the Nintendo segment and move on to PlayStation/Sony. Now, before we get into PlayStation, understand that when I say PlayStation, I mean exclusives to PlayStation. If it's on Xbox too, I have the segment at the end is going to be games that are on pretty much everything or just PC. That'll be at the end. With PlayStation, there's only a couple. There is a lot of games on there, of course. I think PlayStation has the most games, but other than PC, obviously. But out of a console, PlayStation has the most games, especially the PS2. There's so many: Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Uncharted, Spider-Man. So many. I'm blanking a little bit, but there's literally hundreds of exclusives on PlayStation. They have so many. But music-wise, there's only really two that stand out to me personally. One, God of War. And while I love the original soundtrack of the first three, the two newer ones have that incredible, like, Nordic, you hear it in the back. That just, it takes you there and it grips your soul. That shit is S tier. Moving on from God of War being an S tier, we got another S tier banger, sorry to spoil it, The Last of Us. Now, The Last of Us I actually thought about for a while, because the music, it's really, really good. But at the same time, I don't know how to describe it. It's fantastic, but it's just not... I guess it's not long enough. There's not enough of it. Because the bits that there are, there's just really not that much of it. From what I can find, at least there's only a few songs. I guess if there was more to the OST, perhaps I would be happier. But a lot of The Last of Us is silence and tension building and stuff like that. So I get it, it's a horror game. I understand that the OST isn't going to be the greatest every time, but what we do have is phenomenal. A lot of what we do have. Last of Us, that covers both games, obviously. More so the first one than the second one. I didn't really play the second one after the first hour or so. I think you'll get... If you played it, you know why. But that pretty much ends the Sony segment. There's not much more to talk about. I really looked through the list. I couldn't find any like iconic soundtracks, and I did listen to ones that I thought maybe would surprise me, but they honestly didn't. It was mostly just stuff I expected, like Street Fighter and stuff. Now, on the other hand, we do have Mortal Kombat. I'll talk about Mortal Kombat later. And let's get into the final category before we just go into all out, like pretty much all consoles, all platforms, whatever. Xbox. Things that have been on Xbox. And come on, you know and I know, you know, and you know I know you know. So let's let the cat out of the bag. It's Halo. Talk about Halo. Could I choose a game? I could more so like eliminate one or two that are not as good, sound wise, 4 or 5. But otherwise, like, it's really hard to pick, because there's one sets the standard, obviously. It's incredible. Sets that they came up with the oohs and ahs that you're hearing back here. And then Halo 2 adds electric guitar to the mix. What a beautiful decision. And can I just say, you get the point. It's so good. This is bias. Not gonna lie. Halo was one of the first games I played. Holds a very dear spot in my heart. It's going on top. Very top. Now, will it be topped? Maybe. Maybe I left a little blank space at the top. Maybe it's the top one. Maybe it's been there the whole time. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know why I'm stalling. Probably to play more Halo music. So then we got Gears of War. Fantastic soundtrack. There's really not too much to say about Gears of War, other than it's dynamic. You feel there in the moment. It's solid. The soundtrack just doesn't do it for me personally. I get it if you like it. It definitely isn't bad. I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's like as up there with Halo, you know? Well, since it's now an exclusive, we're gonna talk about Bethesda side of things. So with Skyrim, I actually think the music is really good. I have a lot of problems with Skyrim as a game. Fundamentally, I kind of hate it. And I hate what it did to modern gaming. And I think a lot of, like, the empty open worlds that we see that are just basically collectathons, walking simulator collectathons. I think that's their fault. I think that's Bethesda and Skyrim's fault. But that's neither here nor there when we're talking about the music, which is incredible, fantastic, bottom of A tier, because I can't put it any higher morally. So I don't know if this one was an Xbox exclusive per se, but there's a game called Vampire Dishwasher Smiles, and its soundtrack and gameplay are absolutely banging. It was on the indie arcade, or the arcade, whatever it was called on Xbox back in the day, where you could get indie games for very cheap. Incredible soundtrack, incredible game. Please check it out. It's gonna go at the bottom of S tier. It's that good. Just check it out. Just check it out. And then we'll kind of end it there with Xbox, because there's not too much more I can think of as far as Xbox and OSTs. Halo's the main one, of course. Gears has got to be mentioned because it's their other mainline franchise. But yeah, I mean, I think we should move on to the non-exclusives, the things that are put out for everyone to enjoy and honestly have some of the best soundtracks. This is the one I've been most excited for, so let's dive right in. Slightly new location for this last segment, so there's a lot here. We're going to go through them. So starting off, we're going to go with Terraria, which I considered for a long time. One thing I do want to mention, I wish that Minecraft did, is that I wish that Minecraft played constant music, because Terraria plays their music constantly, and it's fantastic. So Terraria, their music, especially if you go into like certain biomes, like I'm going to play this is the underground desert biome, and this has no reason going this hard. Terraria is going to go right in the S tier, and I'll have a visual up here at some point to help you guys remember all this. We're going Metal Gear Solid, which I had to go with 3 out of all of them, because 3 not only has a fantastic soundtrack, just like the main theme is what's playing behind me, which is fantastic, and then there's the ladder scene, which I'll just go ahead and play a bit of right here. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. That scene is incredible. Yeah, it's really good. The music in that game is fantastic. I still don't think we've discussed the best. Tetris is iconic. It's one of the most played games in the world, but is the music the best? I think it's not the best. It's just really good. So it's in S tier as it deserves to be, but it is not at the top. And then we got Chrono Trigger, which I've just started playing recently. If you haven't played Chrono Trigger, it's cheap on Steam. Go ahead and give that a try. I'm actually saying that it's better than Mario, but not quite as good as Sonic, because Sonic has so many bangers over the years that it is hard to get over that. Tetris just barely inched past it, and yeah, so we're gonna put Chrono Trigger right there. I'll play some nice Chrono Trigger music in the back. I don't want to spoil that story. It's really cool. You should play it. The Witcher 3 specifically. I need to play this game. I own it, but I haven't played through it yet. I've only played a bit, and yeah, it's just a fantastic music soundtrack. It's a really good open world game in general. Everything is so immersive, including the sounds. I kind of expected that based off of the reviews. And while we're talking about CD Projekt Red, I was gonna put Cyberpunk in S tier as well. It's not quite like top of S tier material, but some of the songs in there, like I Really Want to Stay at Your House and that tie into the anime, so good. So good. I highly recommend you watch the anime and play the game. Both are really good. The music in them are so fantastic. The battle music was getting stale, but I believe the most recent update added more, so that's nice. I just recommend you check it out. I'm playing some in the back now. It'll make you cry if you watch the anime. It's really good. But just above that, I was thinking just above Cyberpunk, right below Last of Us, Undertale. I know a lot of people really like Undertale, so that might upset some people. I apologize if you can hear my dogs. I know that might upset some people, but it's in the top. It's in the S tier. It's just not at the top of the top for me. And I apologize for it. There are some standouts. Like the final battle theme is crazy. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll just play it right here, but it's so good. It kind of speaks for itself. Then we got, there's quite a few games that we could talk about at this point. Here, let me just list them off for you. So there's, besides what I've already listed and rated, I have here Final Fantasy VII, Signalis, Celeste, Donkey Kong, Persona, Hollow Knight, Earthbound, Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Hades, Silent Hill, Nier Automata, Journey, The Outer Wilds, Risk of Rain, Life is Strange, and Doom. So we got quite a few. We got quite a few more to go through. This is, like I said, this is the longest part, so buckle in. We're going to go through them kind of fast. At this point, we're going to abandon the tier list. It's getting filled, it's getting cluttered. Instead of a tier list, I am still going to say whether I think it's S tier, A tier, whatever, but I'm just going to tell you whether or not I think it's the best of all time. I think that's more simple. I apologize if that's confusing at all. So Final Fantasy in general, I said 7, but that's just what I wrote down because that's an easy Roman numeral. Final Fantasy has a really good soundtrack. I have not played the games at all, which I know a lot of people have said that I should, and I probably will one day, but the soundtrack is quite amazing. I'd say I'd put it in S tier. It's quite good, but it's just not the best of all time for me. You can hear it here. And yeah, I think some will disagree. I've seen a lot online. I did look at online consensus, seeing that Final Fantasy might be the best soundtrack, but I disagree. It's fantastic. I'd put it close to the top, but it's just not the best, you know? Then we got Celeste. Celeste is a fantastic indie game if you haven't played it. Really cool music, but in my opinion, it's a little bit one-dimensional, just because it is, it doesn't switch up as much as I'd like the best soundtrack of all time too. You know, it doesn't bring as much emotion, as much raw energy, I guess. And when I'm looking for the best, I want the best. You know, I want it to itch every scratch, if that makes sense. So then there's Donkey Kong, which I should have mentioned at the Nintendo section, but I forgot. Luckily, looking online, I found some people talking about how it is a contender. And I couldn't help but agree, especially with the Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2. Those have some bangers in it. I definitely put it in S tier around Mario and stuff, but I just don't see it being the best of all time. We're basically, you're seeing a pattern here, where I'm seeing that it's really good, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit, but none of these are hitting in the way that one game in particular I'm basically trying to build up to. There's one game that hits every note, it does all of these things better, a lot of it better. It doesn't have electric guitar or hard-hitting drums. Doesn't need it though. Game I'm talking about is Minecraft. I think that we should just cut straight to it. I think that the best soundtrack, and I've been listening to soundtracks all day to try to figure this out. I think that the best soundtrack is Minecraft for video games. It might go beyond that. The music is incredible. Now that I've started, you probably knew what I was talking about because I started playing the Minecraft music, but just listen to this. It puts you in a trance. There's no other video game music that makes you feel this way. Am I alone in this though? Maybe I'm crazy. I would love your guys' consensus on this, and that's why I made this video. Mostly because if you guys have a video game that you think deserves more attention for its soundtrack, I would love to listen to it. I think that video game soundtracks don't really get appreciated as much as a lot of other forms of music do. Just soundtracks in general don't get enough appreciation because people do consider it just, it's part of that TV show, it's part of that game, who cares? But I think that you should look into those more often if you don't. But Minecraft, and specifically the Volume 1, but we can just say Minecraft music overall because I enjoy the modern stuff as well. Minecraft music is just the pinnacle of gaming music. It is perfect. There's nothing to be changed about it. It could not be improved. There's nothing else. It fits well. I don't know. I don't know how else to put it. A lot of it could be nostalgia, perhaps, but to me, that just feels right to say that Minecraft has the best video game music, and I've seen a lot of people saying that online, before I had even formed this opinion, or after I had formed this opinion already, saw a lot of people online agreeing with me while I was making this video. So I can't help but feel a little bit justified in saying that Minecraft is the top. It's up there. It's the banger at the top. Halo's right under it, and the Wii music right under that. That's my top 3 at least. What do you guys think? I can cover more. I can go over more if you guys want me to, if you find this interesting and you think that I haven't delved deep enough. Let's just go over I'm gonna go over the whole list. Let me know if there's ones that I missed. So we got Minecraft, Halo, Terraria, Wii Music, Metal Gear Solid, Zelda, Tetris, Sonic, Chrono Trigger, Mario, God of War, Witcher, Echo, Signalis, Last of Us, Undertale, Oblivion, Vampire Dishwasher Smile, Mortal Kombat, Stardew Valley, Castlevania, Metroid, Gears of War, Final Fantasy, any of them, Celeste, Donkey Kong, Persona, Hollow Knight, Earthbound, Dark Souls, Hades, Silent Hill, Elden Ring, Nier Automata, Journey, Outer Wilds, Risk of Rain, Life is Strange, Doom. So if you didn't hear the game that you got in mind mentioned right there, I want you to please comment down below and tell me about it. I would absolutely love to hear it. But for now, I think the case is closed. I think that Minecraft will be crowned as the best video game music for the time being, and until something inevitably better comes out, which I'm hoping for, because obviously better music is better. This was a silly little video. I hope nobody takes it too seriously. I just listened to a bunch of video game music and rated it based on my personal taste entirely. Don't hate me for this, please. Don't be as bad as the Eminem fans. But I appreciate you watching and taking the time to sit here with me. If you commented, I also very much appreciate that. If you got a video idea or something like that, something you want me to cover, go ahead and leave it down in the comments. I'll see you guys next time.